The first time he said, "I love you," I was wearing a wig I bought off Instagram for $39.99. He thought I was Isla Monroe, social media darling. Girl next door, total catch. But Isla Monroe was a lie. A carefully curated online persona I created for a job I never meant to fall into. Or fall in love during. He didn't know my real name. He didn't know I lived in a studio. Apartment with a leaky sink and a cat named Raymond. He didn't know I was only supposed to flirt, gather intel, and disappear. He wasn't supposed to matter. But then he kissed me like the world was ending. And I started to wonder, what if I didn't have to vanish this time? But before I could answer that, someone else did. And just like that, the girl he loved was dead. And the real me? She was next. Hey, dreamers! Welcome back to Blessing Storyverse, where we don't just tell stories. We live them. Today's tale is full of mystery, love, twists. So grab your popcorn and let's dive into another episode. The Lie Wore Lip Gloss. If you ever want to disappear, start with Sephora. Seriously, a red lip, a new hair part, a little cat eye action and boom. You're someone else. Someone more interesting. Someone like Isla Monroe. I invented her in a hotel bathroom during my third fake job interview. All she needed was a killer profile, a carefully curated Instagram, and an attitude that screamed cool girl confidence with a hint of mystery. She wasn't real, but she looked real enough to fool the most powerful man in the room. Or in this case, the most dangerous one. Isla Monroe, he said, reaching for my hand across the rooftop bar. That name sounds like trouble. I smiled like I had secrets. Because I did. And you look like the type of man who likes trouble. I replied, swirling my martini. Noah Sinclair. Billionaire. CEO of Sinclair Dynamics. Known for two things. His painfully good jawline and a private data empire that could ruin nations. He also happened to be my latest assignment. I wasn't a spy. Not really. More like a freelancer. I find things, secrets, weaknesses, people, and I sell what I find to the highest bidder. But this time was different. This time I was supposed to flirt with Noah, gain his trust, and ghost him before he got close. No touching, no feelings, no mess. And yet, here I was, wearing a bodycon dress I couldn't afford, letting him brush a strand of hair off my cheek, while my heart threw itself against my ribcage like it wanted out. "Tell me something real," he said, his voice low. My throat tightened. He didn't know the real me. He didn't even know my real name. So I said the only thing that was halfway true. "I've always wanted to learn how to lie better," I whispered, sipping my drink. He smirked. "Then you're already doing great." 1 week later, I woke up in his bed. Not part of the plan. Not even close. He was still asleep beside me. That annoyingly perfect face tucked into the pillow. Like he hadn't just wrecked every one of my boundaries the night before. I slid out of bed like a guilty cat burglar. Slipped into my heels. Searched for my clutch and froze. Because sitting on his desk right next to my fake ID was a photo of me, the real me. No wig, no lashes, no eyeliner, and written in sharp black ink on the back were just 3 words. "You're not her. No one follows ghosts." I didn't scream. Screaming is for amateurs. Screaming says I'm caught. And I wasn't caught. Not yet. But I was shaking heels in hand. Dress askew. Heart punching a hole through my ribcage. The photo was real. Too real. Taken months ago, outside my favorite thrift bookstore. No makeup, hair in a bun. Carrying Raymond in a busted carrier. The version of me no one was supposed to see. Not online. Not in person. And definitely not in his penthouse. I flipped the photo over again, reading the message. "You're not her." Not signed. No date. Just that messy, rushed scrawl. Like someone was watching. Rushed, angry. My first instinct? Run. My second? Burn the place down. But I did neither. Instead, I stuffed the photo into my clutch, slipped out the door, and walked barefoot through the marble lobby of Sinclair. Towers like I had a brunch reservation and zero regrets. Outside, the city blinked awake around me. I ducked into a corner cafe, ordered black coffee, and texted the only person who knew who I really was. M.E. Code Flamingo. It's bad. Margot. Scale of 1, burn your passport. M.E. I was in his bed. Margot. Okay, we need a Plan Z. Plan Z was R**T protocol. It meant drop everything. Vanish. New hair. New ID. New life. Problem is, I didn't want a new life. I wanted this one. Or at least, the version where I wasn't in love with the man I was hired to betray. Meanwhile, Noah Sinclair sat on the edge of his bed, staring at the empty space where she'd been. She left so quietly he hadn't even heard the door. But what she didn't know, the note on the photo wasn't from him, and he wasn't the only one watching her. Ghost protocol failed. I always thought I was good at disappearing. Fake names, burner phones, clean digital trail. But by the time I got back to my apartment, I knew something was wrong. The door was locked. That was normal. But the smell inside, vanilla and musk, not mine. Someone had been here. I stepped in slowly, hand tightening around the taser in my clutch. The lights were off. The room was too still. Raymond, my cat roommate, emotional support criminal, wasn't at the window like usual. I found him hiding under the couch, pupils wide, tail puffed. Code red. I didn't even bother with a suitcase. I grabbed my go bag from the coat closet cache. Passport, burner phone, backup wigs, and bolted down the fire escape. But halfway down the alley, my burner buzzed. Unknown number. Unknown. You leave without saying goodbye. Rude. I froze. My blood turned to ice. They knew. They weren't watching me. They were in my life. I didn't respond. A second message popped up. Location shared. Come talk, Isla. Or should I say, Lila. My real name. No one knew that name except me, Margot, and the DMV. I smashed the phone on the pavement and ran. Elsewhere, Noah stood in his private office staring at a paused security. Cam feed from 3 nights ago. It was grainy but clear. No wig, no heels. Just a girl in oversized sweats sneaking out of his building. A girl who looked nothing like Isla Monroe. And standing in the corner of the frame, in the shadows, a man in a black hoodie, watching her leave. Noah's jaw clenched. Find her, he said to his head of security, before someone else does. The safe house is a lie. I made it to the safe house by nightfall. Technically, it was Margot's ex-boyfriend's Airbnb side hustle. But semantics. It was in a beach town no one cared about, with terrible Wi-Fi, a broken espresso machine, and one surviving wine glass. Perfect for laying low. I dumped my go bag on the couch and finally let myself breathe. For the first time in 72 hours, I wasn't running. Then the door knocked. Once. Pause. Twice. Pause. Once. The knock. Our knock. I peeked through the peephole and nearly sobbed. Margot, I hissed, flinging the door open. You beautiful, chaotic gremlin. She stepped in, eyes scanning the place like we were in a spy movie. Which, let's face it, we kind of were. Who did this to you? She asked, spotting the bruise on my arm. I shrugged, not sure yet, that they know everything. My name, my face, my cat's dental plan. She winced. We're past Plan Z, we're on like Plan Omega. I handed her the note from Noah's place. The photo. The messages. She stared at them, then at me. Babe, she whispered. This isn't random. I know. No, I mean, this isn't just someone watching you. This is someone who's been watching you. She pulled out her laptop and started typing. Fast. Her expression dropped after 2 minutes. Margot, you need to see this. She turned the screen to me. It was a photo of me again. Not just one dozens. Me on the subway. Me at the library. Me in Noah's lobby. Even me sleeping in my own bed. All posted to a dark web forum titled, "The Girl Who Doesn't Exist." Meanwhile, Noah's phone buzzed. Security report, delivered straight to his inbox. It wasn't just her name he now had. It was her past aliases, her movements, her last known address, and buried at the bottom one flagged name, Lila West. It stopped him cold. Because years ago, Lila West wasn't just a stranger. She was the girl who saved his life and disappeared. You weren't supposed to matter. I didn't sleep, not because of the murder forum featuring my face, though nightmare fuel, but because of the look on Margot's face when she whispered, "They know who you are." She said they like it was plural. That was new. I took a shower, washed off the fear, and stared at myself in the mirror. No lashes, no filters. Just Lila West, the girl no one was supposed to see again. I pulled out my old ID, the one I swore I'd burn years ago, the one I kept hidden behind my fake passports and designer lies. And then my phone rang. Unknown number. Again. I let it ring. Let it die. But then the text came through. He's not who you think he is either. Attached, one video file. I stared at it for a full minute before pressing play. The screen lit up with security cam footage grainy. Time-stamped, black and white. It showed Noah. In his office. Arguing with someone. And then punching them. Hard. The man fell out of frame. The camera stayed on Noah's face. Calm, cold. Like violence didn't faze him. I closed the video, hands trembling. Behind me, Margot said, "You can't trust him." But here's the thing. I already had. Across the city, Noah stood alone in his apartment, staring at a photo of Lila West from years ago. She was younger then. Less armor, more light. The girl who'd pulled him from the wreckage of a car crash he barely survived. He thought she'd died, that she'd just changed her name. And now, someone was after her, and he was going to find out who. Later that night, I snuck out of the safe house. I told Margot I was going for snacks. She knew I was lying. I took the train back into the city, straight to his building. The doorman recognized me. "Miss Monroe?" I winced. "Just Lila." He blinked, nodded, and let me through. I rode the elevator to the penthouse, heart in my throat. When the doors opened, he was waiting. "Layla," Noah said softly, like the name tasted familiar and foreign at once. I stepped into the room, eyes never leaving his. "Tell me the truth," I said. He didn't flinch. "I will if you do." And that's when the lights cut out. A sharp zap. Darkness. I turned around, and someone was already inside the room. We're both lying. The lights snapped off like someone cut the power at the source. A second later, static buzz. A soft click. Elevator re-engaging? Gun cocking? I couldn't tell, but I felt it. We weren't alone. "Noah," I whispered, pressing into the wall. He reached for me in the dark, just as a voice echoed through the room. Deep. Familiar. Tinted with a smirk. Oh, the traitor and the liar. Cute couple. A flashlight flicked on, slicing through the dark. And standing in the beam was a man I hadn't seen in 3 years. Cal Bishop. He used to work for my old employer. Charming. Cutthroat. Also the reason I faked my death in the first place. Noah, I said, stepping in front of him, heart pounding. This is Cal, my ex-handler. Handler? He repeated, voice razor sharp. Oh, Cal grinned. You didn't know she was a spy? I'm not a spy, I snapped. I was a data extractor. With a body count, Cal added. Let's not get cute. He turned the flashlight toward Noah now. And you, Mr. Billionaire, you've got a few skeletons yourself. Noah didn't flinch. Get out of my apartment. Cal ignored him. I came to deliver a message. Layla, you're in deep. You poked too many wrong files and now people want you gone. Like, forever gone. I know, I said quietly. Cal tilted his head. Then why are you still here? Before I could answer, Noah moved. Fast. Too fast. He tackled Cal to the ground. The flashlight clattered away. The men hit the floor in a mess of fists, elbows, and rage. I stood frozen, watching two men fight like I was the last lifeboat off a sinking ship. But when Cal pulled a blade from his boot, I didn't hesitate. I grabbed Noah's paperweight off the table and slammed it into Cal's shoulder. He roared in pain, dropped the knife, rolled off Noah and stumbled toward the door. Before leaving, he turned and grinned at me with blood on his teeth. They're already watching again. And next time, they won't knock. Then he vanished. After, the lights flicked back on. Silence. Blood on Noah's lip. My hand still trembling. We stared at each other like strangers. That something had changed. He knew who I was. I knew what he could do. You fight like someone trained you, I said. He exhaled. Because someone did. Who are you really, Noah? He leaned against the wall, chest rising and falling. And then, quietly, I used to be one of them. The people who trained you, who tracked you, who own everything. You're not just a billionaire, I whispered. You're connected, and you were the only one who ever escaped them, Lila. Until now. The plan is the trap. We left the penthouse at 2:17 a.m. Me in a baseball cap and oversized hoodie. Noah in dark jeans and a zip-up that made him look like the world's hottest fugitive. The city was asleep, but I wasn't stupid. They were still watching. Always watching. We'll take the long way, he said, unlocking a car so sleek, it probably had a button labeled escape hatch. I glanced at him. This car bulletproof. He didn't blink. Mostly. Charming. 20 minutes later in the tunnel, Margot's text came through like a blessing and a threat. Margot, I found a safe drop. No IDs, no electronics. You've got 2 hours. M.E. Who else knows? Margot, just me. And maybe my hamster. If he's nosy. We pulled off the highway into an abandoned underpass that looked like it belonged in a heist movie. A beat-up sedan was parked near the edge. Keys taped to the back wheel. Inside, 2 burner phones, 1 duffel with passports, and an envelope marked, "Do not trust him." I froze. The handwriting was mine, but I hadn't written it. At least, not yet. Noah saw it too. "What is that?" he asked. I opened it. Inside, a Polaroid photo of me, sitting in this very car, with him. Same hoodie, same duffel, same everything. On the back, the same handwriting. You've done this before. Flash, memory, static. My hands on the steering wheel. My voice screaming, "We have to go now." Noah beside me, bleeding. A van crashing into our side. Then black. I gasped, nearly choking on air. What just happened? Noah asked. I shook my head. I think this has all happened before. He stared at me. Lila, are you saying someone reset your memory? No, I whispered. I think I did. The first time I died. I stared at the photo again. Me and Noah. Same car. Same clothes. Same fear in my eyes. A day that hadn't happened, yet somehow already had. I didn't remember it, but my body did. My hands trembled like they'd been here before. We've done this, I whispered. I've run from them. With you. And I erased it. Noah looked stunned. Why would you wipe your own memory? I looked at him. Because I must have learned something I wasn't supposed to know. Flashback. Piecing together fragments. Car crash. Screams. Blood on the windshield. Me dragging Noah out of the wreckage. A black van pulling up. A woman's voice. Secure the girl. Wipe the asset. I didn't know who she was. But I remembered her eyes cold, calculated, familiar. Back in the present, Margot called. Where are you? She hissed. East Tunnel. We found the drop. A pause. Did you find the envelope? She asked quietly. My heart skipped. You knew about it. I didn't leave it, she said. But I saw you leave it. 2 months ago. Silence. Leela, I think you were trying to protect someone. But I don't think it was you. Back at the car. Noah stood over the duffel bag, quiet. Too quiet. I approached slowly. Noah, you okay? He held something in his hand. Not a gun. Not cash. A flash drive. It had my name etched into the plastic with a pen. Where'd you find that? I breathed. He looked at me, eyes dark. Under the seat. He handed it to me. It was taped there. Like someone wanted you to find it, not me. I slid it into the burner laptop from the bag. The screen flickered. File open. Project Phoenix. Subject, Layla West. Status, reset. My blood went cold. What is this? Noah whispered. Then the screen shifted. Surveillance footage of me in a white lab room. Strapped down. Fighting. Screaming. And above me, the woman with the cold eyes. She's seen too much, the woman said on the recording. Wipe her. Keep the memory of Sinclair. The rest goes. I choked. That was the plan. Keep my feelings for Noah. Erase everything else. Like I'd never been in danger. Never known what I'd uncovered. They left you just enough to be loyal, Noah said quietly. And kept you in love with me. So you wouldn't ask questions. Tears filled my eyes. I'm not even sure which parts of me are real anymore. But Noah stepped forward, pulled me into his arms, and whispered, Then let's find out, together. Her name was mine. We drove in silence. The flash drive was back in my lap. Heavy like it knew too much. Noah's fingers gripped the steering wheel, knuckles pale. He didn't ask if I was okay. He knew I wasn't. We were headed to the Arcana Institute, a tech wellness lab on paper. But I remembered now. That wasn't what it was. Not even close. It was the place I'd been taken. Where they'd strapped me down. Whispered lies into my ears. Turned me into a walking fake ID. You don't have to go back in there, Noah said. I do. We can run. I looked at him. Noah, I already tried that. And I erased myself. Later, Arcana Institute. We broke in through the south side. Margot had sent floor plans. She didn't ask questions, just said, Burn it all down when you're done. The place was too quiet. Surgical. A library of silence and control. We reached the lower levels. The hallway smelled like antiseptic and secrets. I found the door. Subject files. Classified, Phoenix. I swiped the keycard from the duffel. It buzzed green. And there she was, the woman with the cold eyes, standing in the center of the room, holding a tablet, like she knew we were coming. I was wondering how long it would take for you to remember, she said. My voice came out colder than hers. Who are you? She smiled. You already know. I trained you, built you, named you. You're lying. No, Leela, I'm your mother. The room spun. Noah stepped toward me. You never told me. I didn't know. I snapped, but she kept talking. You were born in the program, raised with 1,000 possible lives. We gave you Isla, Nicolette. You wore them all like lipstick. She walked toward me slow, but we had to keep one part consistent, your attachment to Noah Sinclair. It was the only piece of you that stayed human. Noah looked like he'd been punched. You used me, he said, to control her. She was never meant to be free, she replied. She was meant to be the weapon that loved you enough to never question orders. My whole body trembled. But you slipped, I said. Someone let me remember. The woman nodded. I was testing you. And you failed. Then she raised a remote. And the doors locked behind us. I was never the only one. The doors slammed shut behind us with a sound that felt like a final breath. Trapped. Inside the place I was made. Face to face with the woman who created the lie I called a life. I'm not your weapon, I said. She laughed. Of course you are. You just don't remember the first time you were used. Noah stepped in front of me. Voice low. We're leaving. Both of us. She shook her head. No, one of you is staying. And one of you, she looked at me, is already gone. Flash. A sudden wave of heat behind my eyes. Memories not mine. Or were they? Another lab. Me hooked to wires. Another girl. Same face. Different voice. I gasped. There's another me. She smiled. There were 5 of you. Prototypes. Failures, wiped clean. But one escaped. One evolved. I backed away. No. You've always wondered why your hands shake. Why the memories don't line up. Why you can't remember your childhood. She leaned in. It's because it didn't happen to you. It happened to the version of you before this one. Noah whispered. She's not just playing you. She's playing everyone. Then boom. The far wall of the lab exploded inward. Smoke and sparks flying. A figure stepped through the flames. Coughing, dragging a crowbar. Hair wild. Margot. Covered in soot. Absolutely feral. Sorry I'm late, she said. Traffic was a bitch. She threw a flash drive to me. Backups of your real memories. All of them. Where'd you get it? She grinned. I hacked your fake mom. Now let's go. We ran. The fire grew fast. Noah grabbed my hand. Margot punched a guard in the face. It was glorious. The woman screamed from the lab behind us. You'll always come back. It's in your code. But I didn't look back. Not this time. Outside, 4:12 a.m. We stood by the highway, breathing hard. The lab behind us in flames. I opened the flash drive on the burner laptop. Photos, videos. Truth. I saw myself as a child. With another girl. Same face. Same voice. Different soul. It was her. The first me. And she tried to escape too. 1 month later, I stood in a quiet cafe wearing jeans, a hoodie, no wig, no filters, no fake smiles. Across from me, Noah sipped his coffee and smiled. You're really her, he said. I smiled back. No, I'm not. And I meant it, because I'm not the girl he fell in love with. Not Isla. Not Lella. I'm something new. Something whole. Something that chose herself this time. 2 years later, in a dark room somewhere, a computer booted up. Project Phoenix. Subject status. Unknown. Initiating recovery sequence. A photo appeared on the screen. Not of Lila, but of Margot. and underneath it, 2 words. Next target. And that's another episode from Blessing's Storyverse. If this story hit you in the feels, leave a like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe because trust me, the next plot twist is even crazier. Until next time, keep living like the main character. Bye.